I am your host, Justin Yantz. This is episode 99, and this is the wrestling show. And I'm going to talk about, the goings on in wrestling. I'm going to talk about AEW. I'm going to talk about WWE. And that'll be it for this episode, the final episode of season 1 of the wrestling show. So stay tuned. So we're back. This is episode 99. I have other episodes that I meant to put up, but due to circumstances with my acting career, I basically had to give the show up for a whole month and a half. There was nothing I could do. I had to put all my time into this role, but I am back, and this is the last episode of the wrestling show for season 1. And then season 2 will begin. And I'm going to be trying some new things, so stay tuned for that. But let's talk about some of the future matches that I see in the horizon. The first match I think that, we all know is coming is Cena versus Roman Reigns. John Cena is supposed to be back, I think, on the 14th. I don't know. He's supposed to be back soon. And he'll be pretty much there for the whole run till SummerSlam. Now the question is, with John Cena versus Roman Reigns, this would be John Cena. If he wins this, he would be a 17-time champion, which I kind of see them probably giving him the title just so that they can say that, because that's the way WWE works. But I'm not sure if he's not going to be there for a long time, and this is just a 1-month thing, then perhaps he just gets killed by Roman Reigns. But because it seems like all arrows are pointing to The Rock returning at Survivor Series, and Dallas, it will be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And we have a lot of evidence to support that. We saw that Jimmy Uso had a DUI again, and it seems like there's going to be no punishment towards him because he's a part of the main storyline and they need him. So they're just going to kind of pretend like it didn't happen, which is, kind of sad and weird in some ways. Another thing that happened while I was gone is Lana did a talk, and she talked about how there was supposed to be a table spot at Survivor Series, and that Roman Reigns nixed it because he was going to have a table spot with Drew McIntyre. Now, some people are upset about that. I kind of agree with Roman Reigns. I mean, he's the top guy. If we all do the same spots, none of them mean anything. And Lana's spot through the table is basically comedy. And it comedize it funnyizes. I don't know, I can't think of the correct word. It makes it comedy when she goes to the table, and then it reverts back to Roman Reigns. So I can see why he wanted it nixed, but that's where I think we're going, and all signs point to Roman Reigns and Rock. So are they going to have John Cena beat Roman Reigns? Or are they going to save that and just have Roman Reigns run through everybody? I don't know. We'll have to see. He's had a great run. This will almost be a year-long reign. Probably by, that time, it'll be almost a year-long reign. So it'll be his year-long reign versus John Cena going for his 17th time world championship. That's cool. I like that. It's going to be in Vegas. It's going to be in a big arena, and they're looking to sell that out. So that's a good match to go for. The other thing we've seen is Brock Lesnar has come back in the fold in some ways, as he was seen at a butcher shop, and he had a ponytail, and he looks different. Does that mean he's coming back? I don't know. Are they going to address the Paul Heyman situation with Roman Reigns, or is he just going to be with both? Which I think is what's going to happen. He's just going to be with both guys. And they'll just pretend like he's doing double duty. I think the only other match they could do is Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. That seems like an interesting match, but I don't know if they're going to do that. They could just have him win the Money in the Bank and then do Drew McIntyre versus Lashley again, which I don't want to see. And if they do that, they're foolish and dumb. So yeah, those are the future matches. And then the other thing that looks like we're seeing in AEW is it's going to be Paige versus Omega at All Out. I don't think that's a big enough match for that show, but that seems to be what they want to go with. I applaud them for that, but I think they need something bigger for that show. But it's already sold out, so I guess they can put whatever they want there. But those are just my senses on the matters. So that's what I've got to say about basically future matches. I don't really. New Japan seems to be in disarray. We don't know what's going on there. I think they need to get the title on Jay White so he can have that reign. I think that would shake things up, but New Japan looks like they're struggling to break even. ROH has kind of had a resurgence. Bandito beat Roosh in a match that was pretty good. I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good. At best in the world. So a lot of interesting things are going. It looks like Omega versus Sami Callihan. That should be a good match. It's going to be no DQ, so they'll use a lot of weapons. And yeah, those are the matches I think that are coming. As I said, it'll be interesting if Rock comes out, if he shows up in Survivor Series, which is supposedly going to be in Madison Square Garden. Or no, it's not Madison Square Garden. It's in Brooklyn. Excuse me. It's in Brooklyn. So that's what I've got to say about that. And when we come back, I'm going to talk about the goings-on in AEW. AEW. So a lot of things have happened. They've had some good shows. The fans are back. The shows seem lively. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying where they're going. The thing is, I think, as I have said for months now, they need something huge to push them over the edge. Now, we got the surprise of Aleister Black, who is now Malachi Black, and he looks really cool, and he came off like a huge star. And I think Kim versus Cody Rhodes is going to be good, but I kind of want to see him just demolish Cody Rhodes. I see Cody Rhodes now as more of a utility guy. He's over, but if he's not going to go for the world championship, then I don't see what else to do with him. Miro has reinvented himself. I imagine Lana will probably show up with Miro soon. But yeah, he said. Tony Khan has said that there are surprises coming. What are those surprises? Are they big surprises? Dave Meltzer said that it's going to be bigger than an Andrade, so the only thing I can think of is like a Brock Lesnar or a Bryan Danielson. I don't know if they would get a Brock. I don't know if they're going to get a Bryan Danielson or CM Punk, but that's what they need. They need something to push them over the edge. Seeing as All Out is sold out, I would probably wait and start that show with the announcement of Bryan Danielson in AEW and give that the huge moment that it's going to get. And then it'll probably lead to, in New York, that show's selling out because they're going to do their first stadium show. Tickets are going to go on sale Friday. That is, the date is that... the 17th. Excuse me, the 16th. The 16th is when the tickets go on sale, so that'll be interesting to see. So it's been a while since I've been back here. Darby Allin and Ethan Page had their coffin match, because they don't want to say casket. It's a pretty good match. They took off the the ring rope, the bottom ring ropes, and used them as weapons. Some of it seemed a little contrived, but I liked it. Darby ended up getting the win. I think that's the end of that feud. I don't know. Paige and Omega are gonna have like a 5-on-5 match, and the winner, if Paige wins, he gets a world championship, as well as the Dark Order getting a tag championship. So they might be going for the whole double trouble. My problem with Paige is I don't think he's ready yet, but maybe he is. Maybe this is what they need to do. He would be kind of their first homegrown star, and if that's what they want to do, if they think he's ready to be the guy, that'd be interesting. I don't know. I'd much rather see Bryan Danielson win, but I mean, that's more of a WWE guy, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But all signs point to Hangman Page beating Omega, because it looks like Omega's hurt and he needs to take some time off, and I think the best way to do that is, have Page beat him decisively. Since Omega's matches all now involve interference, I think that would be the way to go. So I imagine that's what's going to happen at All Out in September, but we shall see. But I'm impressed. I like what they're doing in AEW, but they need something to push them over the edge. I think a Bryan Danielson or a CM Punk or a Brock Lesnar or something like that could push them into the realm of difference, of being different, of giving them that edge that they are sorely missing. I like Malachi Black. I like the gimmick. Andrade, they're treating him well, but he needs to have better matches in AEW, in my opinion. But that's the things I'm seeing. It looks like Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose. That's not really what I want to see Britt Baker do, but I think until Thunder Rosa comes back, that's kind of what they're doing. They're kind of in a holding pattern right there. Miro got a new belt. It's got like green, so it kind of matches his tights. It's a cool idea. The TNT title means that they change the look of it. But yeah. What else? I haven't done this in a while, so I'm feeling a little rusty. But yeah, I think AEW, they're on the right track. Their people are over. That's the one thing that they've got. They've got people over. So that's about all I've got to say about AEW and what I think is going to happen. And when we come back, I'm going to talk about WWE. So WWE. Fans are back on SmackDown the 16th. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I imagine we get Becky Lynch. That might be the return, or it may be at Money in the Bank, the return. This Money in the Bank is the next pay-per-view, or it is pay-per-view. We'll have to see. Peacock has done a pretty good job of getting everything on there. They're almost caught up, so I think they're going to make that thing that they set out for SummerSlam, to have everything on there that they that the WWE Network originally had. Roman Reigns has run through everybody. I don't know who he can fight. I don't even know if he's fighting anybody on Money in the Bank. At Hell in a Cell, well, he didn't even actually compete at Hell in a Cell. They did a Hell in a Cell on SmackDown, and he beat Ray. What a shock. Then they did Hell in a Cell on Hell in a Cell, and then they did Hell in a Cell at Raw. They kind of drove that into the ground, but the Thunderdome era is gone, and Roman Reigns is probably the stalwart of that. He was the MVP. He was the only thing really worth watching. So we'll have to see what he does. But Roman Reigns and John Cena is the planned match for SummerSlam. Everyone has pretty much known that, I think, since May. Some might not have known that. I predicted that, probably in May. He's got Suicide Squad coming out, and yeah, I think it's the right way to go. Hopefully Brock comes back. Maybe he's one of the surprises. I hope Bryan Danielson doesn't come back. I don't want him in WWE. He's wasted. They don't do anything with him. He'll just be a utility guy, and he's so much more than a utility guy. But yeah, Roman, he's been great. He's had almost a year-long reign. And as I said, I think it's the year-long reign versus Cena, his 17th reign. Yeah, maybe we get Rock coming back. But yeah, SmackDown is in front of people on Friday. We'll have to see what they do. They said surprises are in store. Becky Lynch is on her way. Poor Bayley got hurt in training. I don't know. It's sad she's going to be out 9 months. I also think that probably Sasha Banks is going to face Bianca Belair at probably at SummerSlam. And I think Becky Lynch is going to face either Charlotte or Rhea Ripley. Or they may do the triple threat. I hope they don't do Charlotte. I'd rather see her face Rhea Ripley, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. This is WWE. They don't plan things out. They just throw things at the wall and then expect us to like the taste of it. Riddle and Orton, RK Bro seems to be a thing. Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, which is just awful. Battling over a sword. Raw, as I've said before, is unwatchable. It's still unwatchable. I don't care for anything. Nothing really matters on that show. SmackDown's decent. And we'll have to see if the fans coming back, if that makes a big improvement and they start to look at things. This Alexa Bliss thing. Alexa's not in here, so I can say Alexa Bliss is horrible. It's just a horrible, horrible gimmick. I don't like it. And I don't even know if The Fiend's coming back, but I think somebody said that The Fiend is coming back in August, so we'll have to see. SmackDown's going to be in Madison Square Garden. That'll be an interesting show because they're not just going to do what WWE wants them to do. Eva Marie is back. She's not really a good wrestler, but she's improved. I don't really care. And, yeah, I don't know what... so we got Money in the Bank. And we'll have to see. But I think Becky Lynch comes back. Maybe John Cena comes back on SmackDown. I think he comes back the next week. They need to have something big. Maybe Brock Lesnar comes back. We'll have to see. But they need this. Let's see if they do anything different. I don't think they are. I think they're going to continue doing what they always do. And hopefully AEW continues to just improve so that NXT, it looks like it's going to be Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. And it looks like Karrion Kross is headed for the main roster, as well as the other big guy that I can't remember his name. And Shotzi Blackheart and Toni Storm, they're headed for the main roster. Toni Storm should have been on the main roster a year ago, but okay, she's here now. Let's see if Vince does anything with her. She's blonde. I think he loves his blondes. Do something with her, but she's really good. Let her be somebody. She can be somebody. She's a good worker. She's really talented. She can talk. She can do it all. Push her to the moon. Maybe she should be the first person. Maybe she should face Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, but I think they're going to do the rematch of Sasha versus Bianca Belair. So that's what's going on. Money in the Bank. Who is going to win Money in the Bank? Let me predict who I think will win Money in the Bank. A lot of people say Drew McIntyre. I don't know. I don't know if I see that happening. Let's look at this card. AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders for the tag titles. That should be good. Oh, wait. What? I can't believe I forgot. Yeah, Roman Reigns is facing Edge. That actually has been good. It's just, I feel like Roman is going to plow through him. But yeah, Edge versus Roman Reigns, that should be a good match. I forgot about that. That's how good of a job WWE has done that I forgot Roman Reigns was facing Edge. Or maybe I just don't care. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. Could go either way. Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston. I think Bobby Lashley retains. Asuka versus Naomi versus Alexa Bliss versus Nikki versus Zelina Vega versus Natalya versus To Be Determined. If To Be Determined is somebody missing, then I think it's probably Becky Lynch. Ricochet versus John Morrison versus Riddle versus Drew McIntyre versus Big E versus Kevin Owens versus King Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. I imagine it's probably going to be Drew McIntyre. And I think Seth Rollins interferes in the Edge match, and Seth Rollins and Edge is one of the matches at SummerSlam. So SummerSlam is shaping up to be a good card. So that's about it. I am back. Season 2 starts next week, and I want to say thank you for listening. As always, you can find me at Justin Yawns, and I will see you next time on the DMF.